just for texture.
So why do we freeze and
It's easy to manipulate. If you don't freeze it and you just cool and you use on room temperature, there are high chances of breaking because the sponge is very fragile. If you freeze it, you have enough time to unmold, cut, shape, whatever you want. And also, if you want to store this sponge for a longer period of time, you put in the freezer. You can also use after 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. It doesn't spoil. But if you put inside the chiller, your sponge starts to lose moisture and becomes dry. But inside the freezer, it remains exactly the same. But need to cling wrap. So first layer or the bottommost layer is the hazelnut sponge or dakwa.
you should once we make the sponge, we use a butter paper or something or a silicone sheet is essential?
We can use a butter paper also if the silicone sheet is not there. However, I prefer a silicone sheet. But you can make on a butter paper also. If you have a good quality butter paper, you can make it on a butter paper. The most important part is the spreading of the sponge. Make sure it's even from all sides. Because if it's thick from one side, thin from one side, then it doesn't work.
How much time it takes?
This thickness about 14 to 15 minutes, 198 degrees Celsius. You can use a thin frame. Just put the frame and then spread inside. Otherwise, if you are confident in spreading, then no need of it. Okay, our first layer inside. Now we prepare the second layer. Our second layer, if you see, is your hazelnut praline fitine base or the crispy hazelnut base. So for the crispy hazelnut base, we have got 3 components. This is French biscuit. It's like crispy thin wafers. It's easily available in the market. If you don't have this, you can replace with chopped wafers, or you can mix some chopped wafers with cupcakes. But that's a very homely replacement that I am telling you. In the hotel, generally we use this because the texture is nice. The problem with cornflakes is that it's very thick. So while eating, you don't get the nice texture. With this one, it's thin, it's still crispy. Okay, so we have got 3 ingredients: crispy cuisine base or French biscuit base, some chocolate, and we have got praline paste. Basically, it's a nut paste. What is a praline? Praline is, you can also make it by yourself. You roast the nuts. After you roast the nuts, you make caramel. Everybody knows how to make caramel.
Yes.
Just make caramel with sugar. You can make a dry or a wet caramel, whatever you want. And then you pour the caramel over the roasted nuts. Let this cool completely on room temperature. Once it's cooled, we put in a blender and we keep on blending till you find a very smooth paste. Clear? Praline basically is roasted nuts with caramel turned into a paste. If you say praline, always roasted nuts, caramel turned into a paste. This praline we procure because when you make it on your own, the texture is not as smooth as the one that is available in the market. The flavor profile is very similar to Nutella. The difference is Nutella has got chocolate. This doesn't have any chocolate inside. It's just pure praline or caramel and hazelnut paste. Clear? Okay. This will give you the major flavor of hazelnut inside your dessert. Okay. We have some chocolate for flavor and also for setting this layer. If you don't put chocolate, the praline, if you see on room temperature or on this temperature, it doesn't set because of the fat inside. When you turn the roasted hazelnuts and the caramel you put inside the blender, first thing you find is powder. But when you keep on blitzing it, it turns into a paste because the nuts, they start to release their fat. And with that fat, it turns into a paste. So nut oils have a property that on room temperature, they remain in liquid form. Even inside the fridge, I just took it out inside from the fridge, it is still in liquid form because it's nut oil, it's not butter. Clear this part? Okay. You mix the chocolate and the hazelnut praline. Need to microwave. Just 15 seconds, keep on melting till it melts completely. Yes. The chocolate that we are adding inside this recipe, because we want this layer to set. If you don't put chocolate in this, see, with Nutella it doesn't set. If you put Nutella in this recipe, it will be formed inside the fridge, but when you take out, it doesn't set. It starts to melt out. If you want to use Nutella, you can try replacing the praline paste with Nutella, but need to put some chocolate also. So I put all the French biscuits inside the microwave.
French biscuits and Nutella. French biscuits and क्या डाला सर ने? French biscuits के अलावा सर ने क्या डाला?
French biscuits है दोनों.
दोनों French biscuits.
Try a little bit. Spread. It's very similar to a twin.
Yes, very similar.
Crunch.
Yes.
ऑमलेट जैसा लग रहा है ना?
हाँ थोड़ा स्वीट है.
स्वीट थैंक यू.
शिट यार ऐसे हो गया. ये वीडियो बना दी थी.
क्या हो गया?
आपके ऊपर हो गया. वीडियो कैसे ट्रिम कर.
Guys, any doubts till now? I hope the speed is not.
If you refer, if you refer to the board, chef has done this tacos, layering, okay, and then the French biscuit. Clear?
Ganache.
Right, chef? Yeah. But then at times we do it the inverted way also. For demolding. Okay. We can go from top side also. The other way.
You can assemble it exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Just forget about the first layer, because the first layer, the which of is the piping one, so that you cannot do inside the mold. You can start with the ganache first, but if you want to put the ganache first, then make sure you nicely clean up, because the ganache while pouring can leak out. So that's why I prefer it this way. Because when you put the sponge, then you put the other layer, when you pour the ganache, I'm sure it will not come out on the side. If I directly go with the first layer, then you need to ensure that you have a nice cling wrap stuck on all the sides. Can do opposite way also.
So can we use plates instead of stainless steel?
I will suggest no, but the recipe will still work. You can. Have you tried a julipan or tui mixture? Which has got flour, icing sugar, eggs, or can also replace that with milk. It's a very simple recipe. You can go 1 part icing sugar, 1 part flour, 1 part milk. 100, 100, 100. Okay? 100 grams icing sugar, 100 grams milk, 100 grams flour. Just mix this. Take a parchment or a silk pad. Spread it as thin as possible. Bake it. You will get something similar to this. And then you can just break and use it sugar. But need to spread very, very thin and bake maybe 150 or 160 degree for a longer period of time. You need to get it super crisp.
Yes.
It should be slightly warm when you mix with the cuisine. If it's not warm, it's about to set. By the time I mix with the cuisine, it's already on room temperature. Everything will set inside the bowl. I will not have enough time to put inside my mold. Okay? Make sure no lumps inside this. Okay, the chocolate that we are using here is Coverture chocolate. Coverture chocolate, you know the difference between compound and Coverture chocolate?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference?
Sir, cucumber chocolate contain cocoa butter, whereas compound chocolate doesn't.
Excellent. Whereas compound chocolate?
Doesn't.
Vegetable fat.
So compound chocolate will mostly have vegetable fats or hydrogenated vegetable fats or palm oil, which is not at all good for health. That's why you will see compound chocolate sold at maybe 1/5 the price of Coverture chocolate. But it doesn't have the good mouthfeel. 80% of the chocolate that we use in India is all compound. The brand is Calico. The praline paste I also use this from Calico. Just mix enough so that your French biscuits get nicely coated. Also, one more roll, hello, please. One more roll that chocolate has here is to protect the French biscuits from becoming soggy inside the fridge. Chocolate coats the French biscuit everywhere and helps it to remain crispy even after 1 day, 2 days. If you just mix with the praline paste, it doesn't let the moisture, it sometimes let the moisture seep through inside the French biscuit, so it can become soggy. Okay, in this frame, I always scale and put, because for maybe 1 frame or 2 frames if you are doing at home it's fine. But if you are doing for your own business or in a pastry shop or in a hotel, it is important to have consistency. 1 mold doesn't matter if I scale or not, but if I am making 10 molds, it has to be same height every time. Putting about 230 grams in this frame. The size of my frame is 25 centimeter by 10 centimeter. Then we just use an offset spatula to level everything. Make sure you press this nicely. If you just level it and don't press nicely, it doesn't hold. While cutting this pastry, it will start to spread or open up. One tool I find very easy to level is the fondant smoother. Once everything is leveled, we put this in the fridge or freezer for 10 to 15 minutes for this to start set. Next thing we are going to prepare the ganache. By the time this will set, we will pour the ganache on this. Clear?
I don't care what I phone is going to do, baby. What you need? Let's go down.
Okay, now for the ganache. Basically, this type of ganache, it's called a ganache moellus or a cremant. So usually, what is a ganache? We have got two components, chocolate and cream. In this case, instead of cream, we make a creme anglaise or a vanilla sauce. You have made a creme anglaise?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So,
Not all. This is second year.
okay, I'll explain you what creme anglaise is. It's a very basic sauce, also called vanilla sauce. For this, mostly what we do is we heat up the liquid. There are different recipes of creme anglaise. Some have got cream, some have got milk, some have got combination of both milk and cream. Depends on how creamy you want your sauce to be. More cream, more fat, or better mouthfeel. Okay. In my recipe, I have got milk and cream combination of both. We'll give you the ratios later, don't worry about it. So here we heat up the milk and cream in a pan. I have got some sugar, egg yolks and chocolate. Now how I will mix these egg yolks in the sauce and to what temperature I cook it is very important. It's the most crucial part of the recipe. When you heat up the milk and cream to first boil, once you see it boiling, take off. Okay? The sugar mixed with the egg yolks. Don't put the sugar inside the cream and milk. Reason why? After you boil the cream and milk, we are going to temper the egg yolks mixture. I cannot put the cold egg yolks inside the hot cream and milk straight away. What will happen? They will start to coagulate or they will start to cook and your texture will not be smooth. This part clear?
Yes.
Okay. Why we need to mix sugar and egg yolks? When you put hot liquid on the egg yolks, your egg yolks are delicate. So your egg yolks can get cooked very fast. When you put the sugar with the egg yolks, you are basically tempering the egg yolks and you are giving it some body or some protection from the hot milk and cream. So that way your egg yolks get protected. Clear? You put some part of the hot liquid, mix, get back into the pan and cook to 82 degree to 83 degrees Celsius. Minimum 82, maximum 83. Don't go above 83 and don't go below 81 or 82. If you cook above 83, your sauce will start to split or you will see some pieces of
Scrambled egg.
Yes, early stage of a scrambled egg. And if you cook too much, then maybe a sweet omelette. Okay? So, and if my sauce doesn't have enough body, because I did not cook it enough, so your ganache modules will be super liquid. When you cut the pastry, it will start to flow out. Clear? Now what to do with this when it's ready? The moment it's ready, strain it out and pour over chocolate. You can melt the chocolate slightly because the heat of that sauce is not enough. It's just cooked to 83. By the time you pour, it drops to 70. So that sauce doesn't melt this entire chocolate. So you can melt the chocolate inside the microwave, pour the sauce over it and blend. Your ganache modules is ready. The moment you blend, we set in the fridge. Clear? Okay, we start on the recipe.
चॉकलेट और क्रीम को क्या करना है मिक्स करना है कैसे हीट पे पहले क्रीम अंग्रेज बना एग यॉक और क्रीम और मिल्क से शुगर एक उसके ऊपर फिर चॉकलेट ठीक है तभी तो गिर रहा है।
The pen? We normally use a slab, okay, that's the compound chocolates. This is the overshell, right? The beans in tablet form, right? Can you go?
Yes, okay, the chocolate on which I am going to pour the creme anglaise, I put it in a mixer jar because it's easy to blend and I microwave it. Just take out the microwave plate and then put this inside.
Sir, the plastic is microwavable.
It's going inside.
It's a microwave safe. It's not a plastic. It's microwave safe. Plastic की होता है? It's a plastic. It's type of plastic.
Creme anglaise is also vanilla sauce. So what he is going to do is the liquid, the cream and the milk together, right? Sometimes we only use milk sometimes, but he is using a combination of both cooking cream and the milk together, and then the yolk. Okay, he is going to cook. Normally we use a double boiler, but then he's experienced enough to control that temperature. Mind it, the temperature is important. If you overcook, scrambled egg. If you cook it low, then when you're cutting the pastry, it will be runny because your ganache was not good enough. Temperature, weight, all these control has to be there. Has to be that understanding has to be there with you when you are making all these French pastries. ये बहुत तो
Without the cream. अरे वो रिंग भी हटा दो ना। वो गया कैसे?
So combination of milk and cream. Alright. And then he has the egg yolk.
For this one, no need because the chocolate flavor is quite overpowering. If you want, you can add.
What if some egg white is into it?
Then there is a problem.
There is a problem. Egg white means egg white, egg yolk means egg yolk.
Because if there is egg white, then there are heavy chances of you getting the curdled pieces inside your sauce and your texture will not be smooth. So make sure no connecting tissues also. The chalaza that is connecting the egg yolk and egg white, it should not be there.
Separated.
चलासा भी निकाल देते हैं कनेक्टिंग सेक्शन वो भी निकाल देते हैं
Okay, the moment you put sugar with the egg yolk, make sure the moment you put sugar with the egg yolk, make sure you mix at that time, because if you just put the sugar on the egg yolk, not only for this recipe, for all the recipes, or you just put the sugar on the eggs and you wait for 5-10 minutes, sugar is hygroscopic, it loves moisture, it will attract the moisture from the eggs, it will start to become solid. Later you keep on mixing, you will still have lumps of sugar and your egg yolks will become dry, and again you will have lumps of egg yolks also, so it becomes very hard. So I think enough. अगर थोड़ा सा बच भी गया तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बिकॉज व्हेन वी pour the sauce will get melted in the heat. I'm loving it. This is dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. Okay, now I start the process. When you are heating the milk and cream, no need to check temperature. Look for first boil. But when you are cooking this sauce, need to check temperature. And it's easier to do it on an induction than on a domestic burner, because your domestic burner, size of the pan, the flame sometimes can't come on top, it cooks very fast. Or as chef said, it's safer to use a double boiler. But the only problem with double boiler, it takes too long. Whenever you are cooking anything inside the pan, make sure you go on the side and try to make an 8 inside the pan. When you make an 8, you cover almost every part of the pan. And especially for this, make sure with the whisk you are scratching the bottom. खाली ऊपर अगर आप mix करोगे नीचे burn होने के heavy chances. The liquid milk and cream into the egg yolk. Put little, mix well. Then put the more. Almost put half of it here.
I must add that not only is he preparing French pastry, but this process is also very much French. I still remember my days when I started my job. The same thing with the crepe patisserie, pastry cream, same thing.
Okay.
Little bit into here and then back.
Just to be on the safe side, always strain.
Even these pans, they are very much French.
Very important for this recipe, use heavy bottom pan. If you use a thin pan, it's very hard to control the temperature because it gets cooked very fast from the bottom. Okay, now before you put on the heat, check the temperature first, because it's above 60 or close to 70. 71. Now when I cook here, I cook on slow heat. Please understand, I am not whisking this, I am stirring it with a whisk. Sometimes because you are too scared to do like this, no need. Just make sure you are not stopping your whisk. If your strainer comes out clean like this, it's only foam, that means you cooked it nicely. If you have chunks and pieces here, overcooked. You will always see after you strain this mixture, the bottom of the pan it starts to cook because जैसे ही आप pour करोगे, there is only a very thin layer of sauce left, and the pan is super hot. So this mixture don't scrape and put back inside. Okay, don't scrape and put back inside because the pan is super hot. Okay, very important. Forget about this recipe. Let's say you are only making sauce to serve along with your bread pudding or whatever. Make sure the moment it reaches the temperature, you put in a bowl, and that bowl should be on ice. So the moment your sauce is cooked or in cold water, you strain it and you arrest the cooking. Otherwise, if even I leave it in the pan for few seconds, let's say 15 seconds, the sauce will get overcooked because of carryover cooking. Because the pan is still hot. Now, since I strained it and I put here, I am sure nothing will happen to it now because it's not cooking now. The temperature is getting reduced. The temperature, the heat is getting transferred to the chocolate. Clear? For me, in this recipe, this part is the most technical. Ganache moelleux or cremant.
Very often our students keep on asking, is there a difference between? So what's your take on that?
It's very common that when you go for your placements, you are asked such questions. What is a ganache? Can you give me any derivative of a ganache or anything that is similar to a ganache? If you know what is ganache moelleux or cremant, a cremant is basically an emulsion of crème anglaise and chocolate. Okay, it's not necessarily dark chocolate. It can be white chocolate also. The ratios will change for sure. Forget about the ratios. But what is a cremant? You can make a raspberry rose cremant. When you make a raspberry custard using the same process and pour over white chocolate and put some rose flavor or infuse some rose petals inside your cream. You can do any flavor, but need to know the concept.
Ganache and truffle.
Ganache and truffle, the main difference is that your ganache is mostly has less chocolate to cream ratio and your truffle has more chocolate to cream ratio. I think most of them will know. And why it's called truffle? Actually it's called truffle. We all say truffle. Because of the truffle mushroom, yeah.
Looks like a color.
The appearance, the hand-rolled truffles, the time when the truffles started to evolve, once you make the ganache of the truffle, you pipe it, and once you pipe it, we hand-roll it and dip in chocolate. When you dip it in chocolate and just dust some cocoa powder, if you see both the truffle mushroom and the hand-rolled truffle, they look very similar. Okay, now it looks that everything is smooth, but I will blend with a hand blender because it's important to emulsify the ganache nicely. Sometimes it happens that you just mix and you see by your eye, but when you put inside the chiller, it starts to split slightly because there is not enough emulsion already.
Take this as weird.
sides, make sure you put inside this. If any chocolate is stuck on the sides, it's a part of the recipe. That means it doesn't go inside the recipe. For your blender, the moment you use it, have hot water next to it and immediately just dip your blender and start the blender. Even if I leave it for 10 minutes later, it's hard for me to clean. And you take a scrubber, you take a toothbrush for cleaning, still it never gets cleaned and you see some particles stuck forever.
Yeah.
So better hot water and blend immediately. Especially the part of the plate. This stick I still can clean.
I see.
Now if you see the base is already set. Okay?
Yes.
Before I put this ganache, I will use a blowtorch or a heat gun just to slightly warm it up, because sometimes if there is too much temperature difference, super cold, still hot, it doesn't get stuck to each other. For the same quantity, okay, 220, 230. The moment you blend the ganache, pour it, and you don't need an offset to level it because it's still liquid. So just tap it once or twice and done. Now this will take at least 2 to 3 hours in the fridge to set before you can cut it. Okay. So I have got the same frame ready for you so that I can show you the further process. Okay. This frame maybe I can cut for the second batch.
Morning towel.
अभी से
अभी से खत्म हो जाएगा कब खत्म हो जाएगा
थकड़ा क्या है इसमें मज़ा आ रहा है ऐसे पूरा दिन 24 घंटे हाई बोल कैमरा में हाई यूट्यूब पे डाल आई डोंट नो फिर कॉपीराइट ऑफ दिस आई लास्ट पर मत कर है ना
Guys, any doubts till now?
नो सर
Sure? Yes. Okay, we go for our next recipe, which is the milk chocolate shandy.
एक और वो मेरा भाई है।
ओए सारा नाम लिख लियो तो करें बुला
क्या ही मेरा तो
स्टोरी नेम
कैमरा टीवी वाला हो जाएगा।
Okay, for the milk chocolate chantilly, very simple. We proceed like ganache. Basically, it's like a whipped ganache. We have got cream and Caribou milk chocolate, compound, co-virtual chocolate, not compound. We need to heat the cream to first boil, put on top of the chocolate, blend. Now it's once you blend, it's super liquid, super runny. You put inside the fridge at least 3 to 4 hours, or maybe more if your refrigerator is not commercial, then it takes longer time. I always prefer to blend and keep overnight and then whip the next day. So I'll show you the process of making it. However, I have a recipe ready that I blended last night that I can show you how to whip. Okay. Heavy cream or
heavy cream or
it's 35% cream, heavy cream. This can be whipped also. This can be whipped, yes, but the Amul cream cannot be whipped because the Amul cream has less fat, so it doesn't hold the shape. This is all-purpose cream. Heavy cream you can use for making ganache. You can use for whipping it also. Oh yes, it's LL1. So it's we get both the creams sometimes, but it's dairy cream. It's not rich or chocolate, which is dairy. Not dairy. It's dairy cream.
So with this you can add sugar, chili and a little bit of
And we make the chantilly, how we whip up the cream for garnishing your cake. We make our own chantilly by just adding 10% sugar to this cream. Let's say 1 liter cream, then 100 grams of icing sugar, and just whip it. You get the same thing. But you need to be very, very cautious about whipping it. With the rich cream, even if you whip slightly longer, you can add a little more liquid and fix it. But with this cream, if it gets split, then gone. You have to be very cautious because the fat starts to separate. Or we can do at home that normal whipping cream, we add the if you want to this recipe, then instead of this, you can just make your ganache in 5. But that will be more heavy. This is not right. Bottle of water. It's there. You have? It's there behind. Pour.
बॉस को बोला था सबका है
You can try this at home also.
Yes, sir.
The only difference is the tools you may have do not have. You are very fortunate that in second year only you are getting exposed to this type of
Right, sir.
demonstration workshop. Just keep in mind, it's a French workshop. Okay, his tools are fresh, his process techniques, okay, then only you will get a good quality. You may not have a RoboCoop or a Dynamax or what is dynamic, okay, but still you can have hand blenders, that will also work. Okay.
Okay, one the famous spot. Same way how you make ganache. Just wait for 2 seconds. Can you do the opposite? The cream into the chocolate? Can. So generally we do opposite because you give the cream in the pan and you don't want to put chocolate in hot pan. But I microwave, so my container is not so hot. I did not do opposite because I did not want to use the spatula to bite the cream. Because when I put the chocolate but if you heat in the pan, then what the chocolate is so melt because the pan is so hot. Once you put the chocolate inside, wait for some time so that the chocolate can melt. Just mix, blend and wrap it and put inside the fridge till it's firm. At least 6 hours, best is overnight. For this one, yes. I believe for ganaches I always blend. Even if I'm making simple ganache, I always blend because the texture is very nice. If you make it the same day, consumer next day, you will not understand the difference. हाथ से mix करोगे, blend करोगे, दोनों आपको same ही लगेगा, taste and everything. But you keep both the ganaches for 1 week in a AC room, then see the difference. The ganache that you did not blend, it will start to split. It will start to become sandy instead of creamy. And the one that you blended will hold the texture for a long period of time.
Perhaps you give some air inside when you're blending it.
I try not to take it because if you get a lot of air inside your ganache
Bubbles.
or air bubbles, then oxidization, then your chocolates can get spoiled. This funda is only for the filled chocolates, the bonbon. Generally, if you're making in the pastry, even if there's no problem because it goes in the chiller or freezer. But inside the chocolate shells that you store in AC room, then no air inside your ganache. Okay, now I can mix.
Ratio is 1:2.
I have to check the recipe. 200 grams of cream, 140 grams of milk chocolate.
वो इसके 1.4
So if you see the ratio of chocolate is very less as compared to cream, and also this is milk chocolate. So milk chocolate has less cocoa, so it takes much longer time to set inside the freezer.
कैमरा क्वालिटी कैसी है?
सीखने आ रहा है आपको?
But if you reduce the size, camera quality.
So if it goes to the shop, like how much does it sell for one piece?
It's very subjective, but around 300 to 300.
I'm trying to get this.
We have a release outlet.
So you see, precision it's really worth it. 450 rupees a slice. Whatever he has made inside, he's going to get around 8. You said 8 pastries you will be getting of Petit Antoine. 8. So one piece is 450 rupees. Okay, after it is completed. I mean plus or is it what?
Plus taxes. Because we don't talk about the taxes, it doesn't come to us, it goes to the government. Of course, as a customer, I am paying money out of my pocket. But as a businessman, I am not getting that money inside my pocket. When I say 450, it's 450 plus taxes. So if I tell you 500 with taxes, first of all, you think I am paying 500 rupees for this. But that 500 is not coming to me. Out of that, maybe 70, 80, 60 rupees going to the government. So we don't talk about taxes.
But sir, half of the GST is coming back now.
Sorry?
half of the GST will come back now. If we are paying 18%, we are getting back 9
You will
now.
not get it. You are a buyer. Supposedly you are a buyer.
Yeah.
I am a seller. So 450 plus, I think if I am not wrong, this comes under 28%. Because it falls under a luxury category.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so that 28% you will not able to claim back. Because whenever you go into a restaurant, even if you are working, so you cannot claim that 18 or 20 or 28% for food. Because you are
food
consuming
only.
it for yourself. So you are not selling it out. So if you are buying it from me and then again selling it to some stores, then that might happen. But if you are consuming it, that means that happens. Then he has gone out of your pocket forever. So we have a retail outlet in Khan Market by the name of Enchante. So if you have visited, so it's just next to the law firm. So we share a same wall with the law firm. And this last Sunday we have started up a outlet in La Hache. So La Hache is a departmental store, a high-end departmental store by DS Foods. You get those catch spices, fast catch spices. So that is from DS Foods. So they have 7 outlets in Delhi NCR. So we have tied up with them for the first outlet. So that's in South Point Mall, Gurgaon. So here we have got one counter space in their bakery, and we are selling products in our name. If it goes fine, then it will expand further.
The idea actually.
As a chef, it's very important for you to take care of your tools and equipment, because once you start working in the industry, you will see pastry is not a cheap business. It's very expensive. Yes, if it runs well, you cannot count your money. It can win you a lot of money, but the investment is quite a lot. Each equipment, each tool that you buy, it's super expensive. This blender is 35,000 rupees, but you have to take care of it. The blade and the emulsion that it does, no other blender can do. For this, you might not understand, but when you do chocolate bonbons and pralines and ganaches, then if you use this blender versus using another blender, you can just increase your shelf life of your chocolates by 2 months without refrigerating them because of the blade that it has. And of course, it's a heavy duty blender. Okay, once your ganache is blended, you will see it's super liquid. Super liquid, so you need to put it in the chiller overnight to rest it, and then you can whip it.
Very.
But when you whip, it holds air, it holds the shape. But whipping is very important. Whipping to the right consistency versus over whipping, there's a very fine line. I'll show you how much to whip the texture. You can also do it by hand.
So it's a part of the
Yes, on the top layer additional pipe.
Okay.
With chocolate factory.
सर की कैंडिडेट लेते हैं
Take it out there.
फ्लिप पे डाल दें वीडियो फ्लिप पे डाल दूँ या थोड़ा स्कैम हो जाएगा पूरी गलत हो जाएगा ना कि मतलब जिन्होंने बहुत सब करी उनको ये बोल दिया
मेरे को नहीं पता भाई, जो अच्छा लगता कर ले।
सब मुझसे पक्के हैं
Since when you are asked for your actions, bro. Since when?
now do
Nobody going to store it in cream and chocolate.
ऐसे पूछ नहीं सकता
You can ask for your actions, but I think you can do whatever.
नहीं दे फिर फंस जाऊँगा
Little more. We just need to hold it shape. When I put inside, whatever is dropping inside, if it's spreading, then you need to whip little more. But make sure that you follow it, you whip it just little more, not too much. Don't whip it further. If you see, it holds the shape but it's still soft.
Yes, sir.
इसकी जगह बैजर जैसे बैजर
Okay, now next thing is we start cutting the pastries. Then I take this out and then I show you how to pipe and garnish. Okay. Meanwhile, I am holding in such a space. Just get the same bowl later. This is same that I already made before and got, because the one that we made just now will not be set enough. 25, I'll take 3 centimeters each 8 pastries. Okay. Usually for this I don't trim a lot. If you see the layering on the side, it's nice, so no need to trim. Because if you trim, then money gone, lot of wastage. Okay. Dark time and hot water.
विशाल तेरा है सूप उधर
G2 mark 3 centimeters each. I mark both the sides so that it's easier to cut it, easier for you to cut it straight. Please remember, for pastries, precision is the key. If I I cut one piece slant, then I lose 2 pieces. And every time you cut, each time, hot water, dip and clear off.
पत्तियाँ 450 1700 2100 4,000 से ऊपर आया भाई 2600 3,500 बड़ी गलत है
Okay, I just use a round piping tip. Just to stick the pastry, okay? I've got some garnishes ready for this. It's just chocolate flan of the same size of the pastry. Next thing, piping.
क्या किसको करना है? कौन से सर?
मेरी दो फोन अलग अलग है, तेरी एक ही है पूरी।
उनसे वो करना है वो तेरे को नहीं, मुझे नहीं दूंगा। चल तू करियो,
नंबर तो ले लो, कर
तू कर, मैं कुछ काम हो रहा है। ये 2 फोर्ट्स में रियल भी
अविनाश का कौन सा करना है?
Piping.
कैसा लगा?
It's roasted hazelnut just for garnish. Hazelnut Make sure the piping part do evenly. Then only it looks nice, because when you display on the counter, the customer sees this as the item.